It's already Sunday. Alright. I'm going for almost an hour, and I'll debate with myself later whether or not I want this to be the cutoff point for part 3 or not. So, for those of you in the future, you'll know by the time this goes up. Now that the day is here, I'm feeling a bit anxious about meeting Sayori and Monika. Although I've dealt with Sayori for almost my entire life, I don't know much about how Monika will act outside of school. This feels kind of redundant from what you said last night. All I can tell from our various interactions through text is that she's a lot less formal. Yeah, that's kind of the difference between me at work and outside of work. That's kind of just how it tends to go. You know, you'd be a lot more professional and formal in public places, whereas at home or with friends, you just cut loose and forego any sense of formalcy, like just wholesale. I was a bit taken aback from it, considering I've really only met a more club-orientated Monika, although I'm not complaining. I'm a bit excited, to be honest. With everything that's happened recently, I'm glad I can finally catch a break. These past 2 days have been stressing me out to no end. Well, that's good. And try to enjoy it, man. Hopping out of bed, I put on some clothes and get myself ready for the day. At least it's a nicer day today. The weather today is actually pretty chilly, however, the warmth of the sun quickly blends with the cold of the autumn, making for a perfect temperature. Those are the best days. On the way out, I made sure to eat a quick snack in case the day would be long. I'm sure Sayori will have something if you guys are over there for too long. As I reached Sayori's house, I take a look at my phone for the time. I arrived a bit earlier than expected, although that doesn't matter. Excuse me. After a few seconds of waiting, the door flings open. Oh, Ben! Hey there! Yo! You both look beautiful today. Nice. Oh my, what flattery, Ben. And there goes my face exploding in a shade of red again. Meanwhile, Sayori's trying her best not to laugh. And fails miserably. Yeah, go ahead, laugh at my expense. It's what you're good for, mate. I let out an exaggerated sigh. Come on, Ben, you know I'm just teasing you. Doesn't mean he still has to put up. Doesn't make it any less hard to put up with. Although I never thought you'd be embarrassed so quickly. Can we just go inside? Sure, we have some things to do anyway. Sayori and Monika step out of the way, allowing me to enter. The three of us sit on the couches in the living room. So, what's the plan? It's pretty simple, actually. I'll design the pamphlets on my laptop upstairs. We'll need a total of 35 or 40 pamphlets, one for each desk. You guys can chime in with suggestions. Are we all ready to do this? Yep. Yeah. Alright, okay, everyone. Let's do this. That really is your trademark slogan, isn't it? That really is your catchphrase, isn't it? As soon as we enter Sayori's bedroom, Monika grabs her bag from the desk and sits on the bed. We follow suit. She opens her laptop and produces a silver laptop, which reflects the luminous light above. Powering it on, I notice that her desktop is pretty sparse, and I'm left wondering if she rarely uses it. Quite a contrast to mine, sort of. She opens up her File Explorer and clicks on 2 file extensions, the Documents folder pulling up Word. The first one is a rough draft of the pamphlet design. The other houses the poems we're presenting for the event. I made sure to contact Monika on Saturday, giving her the poem I would be presenting. Oddly enough, Sayori, Yuri, and Natsuki's poems are the same ones from our recital on Thursday. You know, Ben, you've really improved at this. Come on, you really think I would have wasted your advice? Maybe. Oh, that's great. Oh, thanks for the confidence, hon. God damn it. But still, great job. You've shown the capability to improve and do better, something most people can't do. Really? Most people can't do something like that? Damn it, here I thought it was common sense. No, mate, the thing is, not everybody sticks with it. Like, they see how bad it went and would rather spend that time figuring out something else to do rather than keep trying at it because they think it's just not gonna work out for them. Yeah, exactly. I learned from the best. It mostly has to do with low self-esteem at times, or the fear of being judged. Since they're not used to being criticized, they tend to not be very good at taking it. However, you also have to realize that not all criticism can be good. It depends on how constructive it is. It's one thing to criticize someone's work, but it's another thing to denigrate someone's work as well. Usually that's called destructive criticism, the opposite of constructive criticism. Jeez. Aren't they the ones with the low self-esteem then? Yeah, I know, it's not very pleasant. It might be heartbreaking at first to receive something destructive. Yeah, you just have to... you just put a lot of effort into your work only for it to be unfairly criticized. But that's why you need to learn about distinguishing destructive and constructive criticism. Another way to think about it is this. Deconstructive criticism is pointing out the flaws carelessly. Constructive criticism is providing feedback on how you can improve. Precisely. You just have to ignore the people who are just bashing on you, and listen to the people who are actually trying to give you good advice. And that's Monika's writing tip of the day. I'm not sure how much that relates to writing, as much as anything really, but whatever. Thanks for listening. Huh. That's actually pretty good advice. She's full of it, man. I'll take that into consideration. That's great. Anyway, I think I'm done with the pamphlets. It takes me a few seconds to realize that Monika's gaze is fixated mostly on her screen, her hands resting on the keyboard. Was she really typing all of that while conversing? She seems like the type to be good at multitasking, so I would expect it. Looking at the screen, I notice the document is fully fleshed out. I guess that answers my question. Monika, are you sure about this? Eh? What do you mean? I don't think anyone's gonna like the pamphlet. It'll probably come off as lame when I know that's not true. Well, do you have any ideas? She's concentrating, people. Focusing. Ooh! I just got an amazing idea! I like your enthusiasm, Sayori. She's always fun when she gets, excited. Let's hear it! Your eyes just lit up. You like that idea, huh? How about we make them colorful? It'll make us stick out from the rest of the clubs. And plus, it'll give us a lot of attention. We could also write out quotes for each individual pamphlet after we're done printing them. Kinda sounds like an idea from, Yuri's decorating. Home, book, author, anything we can do. What do you think, Monika? Always full of great ideas, I see. I think that'll tremendously help with the turnout. Let's do it! Yeah! A few minutes pass and Monika finishes with the general design of the pamphlet. Our work was actually pretty fast, aside from the usual suggestion from Sayori and I. The results are extraordinary, to say the least. Well, let's see it! Great work, guys! The pamphlets look really good. Now I just gotta print these out and get the rest of the project done. She opens up the file tab and navigates to the print button. A couple of seconds later, I hear the printer turn on and eject a sheet of paper. I'm more surprised that the printer actually worked. Monika gets up and grabs it. Huh? It didn't print? There we go. That's better. That's more like it. Is there no ink left? Monika quickly grabs her computer and prints out another sheet. She grabs over it and looks over the contents again. Sayori. Sorry, I forgot. No, it's okay. We can just go to the store and buy some. We have a bit of time anyway. Yay! Road trip with Monika and Ben! Yeah! I call shotgun! Let's go! I don't object. I could use some fresh air anyway. Alrighty, let's go! We exit the house and turn left, entering into a familiar portion of town. I like the beat of this track. This is a very fitting road trip track, guys. I like it. This is a very fitting track for just going out and exploring. Monika leads the way, while Sayori and I follow. During the walk, I notice how beautiful Monika is like this. Carefree and happy, with her hair gently swaying in the wind. It's a sight I'm sure many of us would like to see for ourselves. Her movements are almost hypnotic. Just don't get too lost in it, man. It makes me wonder how I managed to become her friend. I feel a tap on my shoulder, snapping me out of my reverie. Huh? What you staring at? Nothing! Don't think you're sneaky, you sly dog. No! I was staring on purpose. It's okay if you were. She is very beautiful after all. Oh, you're silly, Sayori. No. Do you like her? Wait, where did that come from? Do you? I think about the time I've spent with Monika. Sure, she's a really good friend and a very professional leader. But doesn't need to stop there. Maybe we can make something happen between us in the future? I would say it's a bit early to know that just yet. Who knows? However, isn't it too early? Thank you. Yes, thank you. I would absolutely say so. It's only been a few days, man. Slow your roll a little bit. Like, please. From what I've seen, love doesn't sprout after 6 days of knowing each other. I mean, isn't it too early to admit that? So you admit it? What? No! Jesus. Now you're trying to embarrass me. I can't help it. You're just too fun to tease. Yes, he is. First Monika, now you. When I catch a break, no, it's what you were designed for. Nope. Oh man, I like that. I give out an exaggerated groan while Sayori just laughs. This is what you're here for, man. Yeah. Eventually, the three of us see the skyline of the city. However, I notice Monika's pace slowing down a lot more. Her labored breathing becoming audible from where we're standing. You guys aren't even moving that fast, though. It isn't long until she fully stops and rests her hands on her knees. I need a break. Break? Monika doesn't respond and simply nods her head. Monika? We only walked a few meters. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Just need a bit of a breather. Monica says those sentences in almost ragged gasps. Um, yeah, this is not normal. Like, this is quite the contrast from how Monica is usually portrayed. So this is unusual for me. Should I find you somewhere to sit? I know a bench nearby that we can sit down and take a rest at. I I'd like that. All right, follow me. Luckily for us, Sarah's navigational skills led us to a bench up to the side up the sidewalk. Navigational skills lead us. I'm not sure if you meant past tense or present tense. Because yeah, one thing I noticed is a lot of people forget about the past tense form of lead, because lead, as in like pencil lead, sounds very similar to the past tense of lead. So a lot of people forget that the past tense of lead doesn't actually have an A. I noticed that a lot in writing. In a lot of people's writing nowadays. So Monica immediately takes a seat. Sarah and I follow suit. Sitting down, I notice Monica's face resting on her palms as she tries to control her breathing. She looks almost exhausted, like walking a few meters took almost all of her energy away. This is very unusual. Monica stands up after a few minutes. Whew. Alright, I'm feeling a bit better now. I know you said your lung capacity wasn't the best, but I didn't think it was this bad. Are we ready to go? By your leave. We enter the store and immediately get blasted with the cool air conditioning. The place is relatively small, but I hope it's enough to purchase what we need. You know, the fact that the store is called Rainbow Express is very reminiscent of an old store that used to exist where I live. That has a new name now. Like, they're around under a different name now, but yeah, that's kind of funny. Okay, we know what to get, right? Yup. We set off and look for an aisle that holds printer ink. If this is just like a grocery store, I wouldn't expect to find printer ink here. You need to go to a place like Best Buy or something. I noticed throughout the search that Monica's been coughing raspily, almost on concerning levels. Yeah, sooner or later you're gonna have to spill the beans, Monica. You can't just expect everyone to ignore this forever. Now that I think about it, she was coughing pretty heavily when she told us that we knew what to get. Maybe I'm overthinking too much? No, you're not! Dude, this is not normal. After picking up our things, we stand in a pretty short line. However, Monica's raspy coughing quickly draws attention to us. Heads turn in our direction, some of them even looking a bit irritated. Sarah places a hand on her shoulder. Hey, are you okay? I've been coughing heavily over the last few minutes. Are you still sick? No, I'm fine. That coughing says otherwise. Please just give us some info, hon. Come on. You don't need to worry so much. If I could slap you, I would. Like, Christ, tell us. This isn't doing us any good. But I need to worry. I don't want my friends to be sick. Sayori, I appreciate the concern, but I'm fine. You don't need to worry so much, silly. If you say so. No, keep prying! Keep prying! Ugh! Without another word, we check our things out. The rest of the day goes by as normal, and before we know it, we're all finished with our work. Whew. Tired already? Yeah. Today's been really fun, though. Sarah glances at Monika and then back to me. I'd say the same. I pull out my I pull out my phone and check the time, noticing there's still a half hour before noon. Maybe I could go home early? I mean, now that I'm participating in the festival, I could start practicing my performance. Nodding to myself in confidence, I take my leave and wave the others goodbye. Ugh. Practicing reciting my poem for hours. So far, none of the rehearsals appeal to me. It doesn't help that I need to convey a certain feeling to this poem. And knowing myself, I end up butchering it further and further. Well, you're not going to get it perfect on your first tries, dude. It takes practice. I keep remembering that this is for the club and that I shouldn't put too much effort into this. However, the last thing I need is to flub my performance simply because I wasn't prepared. So despite all my failed attempts, I keep practicing. I see you don't exactly have faith in him. After about an hour or two, I finally give up. Of course, I'm not very proud of my work, but at least you tried, and that's what matters. But the thought of practicing all night makes me annoyed. I'm not even surprised I practiced for more than a few Even surprised I practiced for more than a few minutes at best. Yeah, that's about how much I would practice. Usually, whenever I present something, I don't really put much effort into how it sounds and all that. Maybe it's my dedication to the club that's causing this sudden change? I would say so. Or my desire to impress one of the girls, Monika, specifically Monika. Looking outside my real window, I realize it's still dusk outside. Maybe I could take a break before night falls? Yeah, just take your mind off it for a little bit. I think a good stress reliever is simply going out for a walk and clearing your head. I play around with the thought for a while and I eventually decide to go outside. After a few minutes of wandering, I end up somewhere unfamiliar. It looks neat. Huh, guess I was spacing out a lot back there. Then again, I didn't really have a destination in mind. Those are the best kind of days, man, where you just kind of wander around and see where you end up. I like those. One look around concludes this is another park in the area. Oh well, guess I might as well just take a seat on one of the benches. As I follow through with my thought, I spot someone familiar. Yuri? I never would have expected to find her here. She seems to be enjoying the weather, though. Should I talk to her? I mean, I know she's pretty reclusive and not exactly one for conversation. But it wouldn't hurt talking to her outside of school, right? Just be careful with how you approach it is what I'm gonna say, man. Just be cautious about how you're going to approach it. Don't, try to surprise her or anything. Nodding to myself, I decide I'll talk to Yuri a bit. I take a seat next to her and rest my arms on my legs. Hey, Yuri. Ah! Ben! You startled me. Ah, sorry. I didn't mean to startle you like that. It's fine. I know you didn't mean to do it. What are you doing here, though? Nothing much. He was just out in the neighborhood, wandering around. I was just taking a bit of a walk. What about you? Well... Sometimes I usually come outside and enjoy the weather. And Monika's eyes just lit up. I think she likes the look of this place. Is that right? Isn't it relaxing to hear the sounds of nature accompanying you? Yeah, it really is. I sometimes like to walk around for a while and enjoy nature. Never fails to clear my head. You could say it's like yoga. You'd be correct. Even walking for 10 minutes per day can help you out tremendously. I don't get that much walking in. I'll walk a couple times a week usually. At least I try to, but there's no way I could do that daily. Just don't exactly have the energy for it. Especially days where I have to get up earlier for work. I don't have time, man. Walking helps boost endorphins, which can also reduce mild depression as well. As Yuri continues to talk, I find my eyes drawn to an object on her lap. Looks like a novel. Yeah, I would expect that of Yuri. Hey Yuri, what's that on your lap? Oh, it's a new novel. It's a new novel I've picked up recently. Well, there's my answer. Interesting. What's it called? The Long Walk. How fitting for what we were just doing. Pretty ironic. It's a Stephen King novel under his pseudonym Richard Bachman. He originally wrote the first draft back during his freshman years, but officially published it in 1979. Interesting history lesson. Kind of a redundant word choice. What's it about? I might want to read it someday. She flips the book over and scans the back with some sort of intrigue. She's thinking about how she wants to describe it. I definitely get that. Alright. I just wanted to make sure I don't accidentally give anything away. Basically, it's about 100 teenage boys that are selected to enter an annual contest where the winner would be awarded with anything they want. The game is pretty simple. Maintain a steady pace for 4 miles per hour without stopping. If you don't keep the pace steady, you'll receive a warning. Receive 3 warnings and you're eliminated from the game permanently. Interesting. Sounds pretty engaging. Do they sell any copies of the book at libraries? I believe so. Perfect, thanks. I mentally make a note to go to the library and pick up The Long Walk. Mainly because I don't want to do absolutely nothing in the club. Yeah, this is an issue you should have fixed days ago. I shouldn't rely on Monika roping me into something I can do, despite how fun it is to talk with her. Yeah. You can't always expect her to bail you out, man. That's just not something you should rely on. We talk for a bit more, mostly about school and what we've been doing. At the end of the day, I'm glad I got to speak with Yuri a bit more. She stands up after a short silence. I'm sorry to say this, but I have to go now. I need to get home before the sun sets. Don't sweat it, Yuri. I've had fun talking to you outside of school. Maybe we can do this some other time. I'd appreciate that, Ben. It's been fun talking to you as well. But I must go now. Farewell, and have a good night. You too, Yuri. She disappears from my line of sight in a few minutes. See, these are the interactions with Yuri I absolutely love. Standing up and quickly stretching, I begin the journey to the library. Now, time to get that book.
Tomorrow's the day.
Alright, we're back with Monika in her room. What you got for us this time?
I don't know how long I can keep pretending everything's normal, that I'm fine.
So, that line sounded like it could have used some work, not gonna lie. Could have had a clearer delivery, I think.
Especially since... No,
Since
I
what?
shouldn't think about that.
Since what?
Remember what he told you.
Who?
Make the club the best you can make it.
Oh, right. That discussion from the other day.
Even if...
It's Monday, the day of the festival. Okay, so we kind of jumped ahead again. Those, voice scenes with Monika are interesting. They leave me wondering. So, day of the festival. Let's see how this goes. I patiently sit on the curb, waiting for Sayori to emerge from her house. I'm quite nervous as to how the performance will go, but I'm excited for it to be over so I can explore the rest of the festival for myself. Yeah, this is what I love. This is another one of my favorite things that I see. This is one of my favorite things that I always hope gets expanded upon in mods that show at the festival. Because it's just such an integral part of the story of the base game, and just we never got to see like the culmination of it. So it's nice to see it expanded upon. It's always nice to see it expanded upon. I like it. After a few minutes of playing with my hands, Sierra finally runs out of her house and over to me. I stand up and wave at her. Well, that's one crisis averted. Sorry, I overslept again. I think I can tell. Now come on, let's get going if we want to be early for the festival. Okay. And thus, our journey begins to the school. Looking around, I notice all the early risers all grouped up together in front of us on the sidewalk across the street. Ah, I'm so excited! Today's gonna be so much fun! Although I'm kinda nervous about our performance. Same. You'll, just try not to think about it too much and, just, give it your best. That's about all I can say. But I'm sure you'll do good, Sayori. Now, me, on the other hand, I don't think I'll do very well. After all, my poem isn't up to standards with the rest of y'all's. Don't be silly, Ben. I'm sure everyone will love your poem. We'll see. So, what are you going to do after our performance? Eat all the food available in the stalls? Ha ha, very funny. Sorry, it's too easy. I know. I'm a pretty funny guy myself. No, but seriously, what are you gonna do? I think I'll check out all the other cool creations of the other clubs made. I just know they're gonna be amazing. And after that? What do you mean? Come on, Sayori, I know you're gonna eat tons of food afterwards. It's pretty obvious. Well, come on! Food's like the definitive festival experience! Can't enjoy a festival without food! You're not wrong, Sayori. You're not wrong. I guess I can't argue with that. I better watch you, though, in case you do decide to eat all of the food. You're such a meanie sometimes, and I enjoy every minute of it. I do it because I like to mess around with you sometimes, you know? Besides, who else is going to be a meanie to you other than me? I guess you're right. Exactly. We know what we're doing. Ben, Sayori, you're the first two here. Well, that's a surprise. And I'm sure you're happy to see Sayori here. Thanks for being early. That's funny. I would have expected Yuri or Natsuki to already be here. Monika's flipping through the pamphlets, double-checking our work. Sarah and I each pick one up from the stack. These turned out amazing, Monika. We'll definitely get some new members with this. Yeah, I agree. That's what I'll be curious to see if the club gets any new members from this. If the mod goes beyond that. Which I'm sure it will. Given this is a demo and we're already here. And you're just looking at me like, yeah, of course it's gonna go beyond that, dummy. Yep, all thanks to you two. Come on, Monika, give yourself some credit. You did most of the work. You don't have to give me that much credit. Both you guys did excellent work as well. Let's just say we all contributed and move on. I think we can agree that we each did a good job together. Exactly. Right? Yeah! After a few minutes, Yuri and Natsuki enter. Yuri holds up a pristine-looking banner in her hands, bag strapped around her shoulder, while Natsuki holds a wrapped tray similar to the one from Tuesday. Alright, it's festival time! Hell yeah! Wow, you guys got here before me? I thought I was pretty early. I'm sorry for being so late. No, you're just on time. We were just getting started with decorating the room anyway. That's a relief. Ooh, look at that! We got festival decorations. Let's go! Very in tune with what I've always been told about how the room looks. I'm impressed Yuri has this many candles, though. Jesus, that's a lot of candles, people. With all 5 of us together, we finish decorating the room. Yuri's purple banner stretches from one corner of the room to the other, and it looks nice. If anybody can read Japanese or Chinese, whatever that is, if anybody wants to translate that in the comments, feel free to go for it, because I don't know either. On each table rests a cupcake, a pamphlet, and a candle that shoots thin rays of vapor, permeating the room with a jasmine-like smell. Okay, everyone. Monika's voice interrupts us. Quickly, we redirect our attention. I know we're all a bit nervous about today. I would be lying if I said I wasn't nervous as well. But I know we'll do great. No matter the outcome of this event, I'm proud of all the effort put into this club. Although Monika is smiling, I can see that her eyes are almost wistful. But that quickly vanishes as she clears her throat again. Now then, are we almost ready to present? Yup. Let's just get this over with. I guess. Yeah. Monika passes us the papers that hold our poems. With one last nod of encouragement, she begins to open the door. Our turnout was actually pretty decent, although I suspect it's because of Natsuki's cupcakes, or to rest their feet from walking around. Monika stands at the front of the podium, holding her poem. Hello, everyone! Welcome to the Literature Club's poetry performance. I'm Monika, the president of the club. All of the attendees wave at Monika while she waves back. I'll leave you on screen for this, so we can see this mod's interpretation of the festival presentation, since, you never got to see it in your game. And here's Sayori, Yuri, Natsuki, and last but not least, Ben. The audience waves at us, like before. We wave back. Thank you all for coming to our event today. I hope you guys enjoy our performance. After we finish, feel free to come up to the stage and perform your own poems if you wish. I hope you mentioned that on the posters. They all nod their heads. Okay. Today, the poem I'm going to present is The Way They Fly. Monika closes her eyes and begins to recite her poem. Each word from her recitation is clear and evokes emotion. Sometimes she would even use hand motions to make the poem feel more lively, as a true presenter would. The subject matter of her poem is, of course, pretty abstract. The meaning is immediately lost on me after the first few lines. Sounds about on point. However, since her poem has a tone of sorrow, I assume it's probably something sad. I wonder if this is something she's done before, or if she's simply a natural. I glance around the room, everyone's eyes locked on Monika. Sayori looks astounded, while everyone else simply watches in awe. Finally, she finishes, and a round of applause roars across the room. Well done! Thank you, everyone! I hope you enjoyed my poem. Now up next is the Literature Club's own Vice President, Sayori. After Sayori, Yuri, and Natsuki perform, it's my turn to take center stage. Oh boy, good luck, mate. I kinda wish they didn't just gloss over everyone else though, but this mod has its priorities. I stand up and mentally reassure myself to do the best I can. Nodding to myself in confidence, I walk over to the podium and stand there. Hello everyone, I'm Ben, the new student at this school. I'd like to thank you all for coming here today. Without further ado, here is my poem for today. My poem's actually pretty solemn in general, mostly focusing on something tragic that happened in my life. I know I did promise myself that I wouldn't dwell on the accident regarding my parents anymore, but listening to Claire de Lune really brought those feelings back for me. I don't think for a second I'll be able to beat the others' performances, but I managed to do my best anyway. Before I know it, I finish. Everyone claps for me as I glance at the other girls. Monika and Natsuki look taken aback. Sayori and Yuri just clap with the others. I don't think they were expecting as much as you put into it, which is good. Eventually, Monika stands up after the applause dies down. Thank you all for coming. We hope you enjoyed hearing our poems and allowing us to show you all what literature is about. We all stand at the front of the room and bow as the applause from the audience drowns the room in noise. Yeah! As we clean up the room, Monika's mood seems to drastically change within a few minutes. She seemed so energetic and enthusiastic during the performance, but now she's just wordlessly helping us clean the room without acknowledging us. Yeah, she's very good at putting on a facade. A few minutes pass and Monika still hasn't spoken at all. After we finish taking down the last of our decorations, she just sits back down. Now she's just staring at her desk, looking distant and blank. Is it because the game's never gone this far before? She doesn't know what to do? I walk over to her. Hey, you're a lot more quiet than earlier. Is everything okay? No response. I don't even think she heard me. Monika? I wave a hand in front of her face. You with me? Earth to Monika, you okay? Hello? I have to use the bathroom. Press X to doubt. I'll be right back. She hastily stands up and rushes out of the club room. As she departs from the room, I notice that her legs are wobbling slightly as she walks. That's not a good sign. Another indicator that she's going through what I think she is. I take a seat next to Sayori, who leans into my ear. Do you think she'll be okay? I don't know. She probably had to really go. I doubt it's that. You should just wait for her to come back. I guess. 15 minutes have passed and there's still no sign of Monika. I run a hand through my hair, growing slightly more anxious. She should be done by now. Why isn't she back here? Shouldn't she be back by now? Precisely. Seems like Natsuki had the same question as me. I think so. Yeah, I would say yes, Yuri. Go check on her. I'll go check on her. She turns to me. Then I'll call you if something's wrong, okay? Alright. She takes her leave from the club room, leaving the three of us behind. Yuri is reading her novel, but I can clearly tell she's not being absorbed into it like usual. Yeah, it's a little hard when somebody you're concerned about is absent. Meanwhile, Natsuki is pacing in circles around the room. The silence in the room is palpable, a far cry from what used to be the energy from earlier. I squeeze my hands together and bounce my gaze around the room, trying to distract myself from the heavy atmosphere. It's not gonna work, man. I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen, man. The silence is eventually broken by Yuri, who lets out a shaky sigh. I hate to admit it, but I'm getting really scared. What if she's hurt? She probably isn't hurt. Maybe ditched us for the popular kids. I don't know. During club time? That doesn't seem like doesn't seem like something she would do. I tune out the rest of their conversation and put my head in my arms. I try to reassure myself that everything will be okay, but I find my mind drifting off to the worst case scenario. Yeah, I get that. That's kind of what some people would do in this situation. On one hand, maybe Natsuki was right and she really did ditch us to see the rest of the festival. Why would she do that? From what I've known, she isn't the type to ditch. But there's nothing I can do about that aside from hoping that she's fine. After all, this could just be one big scare. God damn it, I need to stop stressing myself out over this. A chill runs down my spine as I hear my ringtone go off. With a slightly shaky hand, I retrieve my phone from my pocket. The contact that shows up on the screen makes my stomach churn and causes a pang of dread to course through my body. Sayori. What the fuck's going on here? Oh, shit. I don't want to answer the call, but something within me forces me to against my will. Yeah, you can't just not answer this, man. This is important. With sheer reluctance, I answer the call and put it up against my ear. Well, that escalated quickly. Why do I hear boss music? Monika's passed out on the bathroom floor! No. No. Shit! Without a second thought, I swiftly end the call and shove my phone sloppily into my pocket. Yeah, dude, just fucking go! This track really sets the mood, by the way. This is a good track for this. Yuri, Natsuki, we gotta go now! What? Where? Bathroom. Don't have time to explain. Monika's seriously in trouble. Alright. The three of us reach the bathroom in seconds, gasping for air. I quickly locate Sayori on the middle of the floor, resting Monika's head against her lap. Did you check for a pulse? I can tell she's trying to say something, but all that comes out of her mouth are blubbers and incoherent sobbing. Ignoring her terror, I kneel down in front of Monika and tightly squeeze her hand. It's still freezing, like the first time I felt it, but I don't care anymore. Monika, can you hear me? Monika! I grab her shoulders and shake her, trying to get any form of response. Like I said, check the fucking pulse! After a few seconds, she mutters something unintelligible. Thank God. I reach into my pocket and pull out my phone. However, a terrible realization dawns on me. My phone battery's about to die. I don't think I'll be able to call an ambulance in time. Fuck it, I don't care. As long as she makes it. I'll be right back, okay? Stay with us, please. Rushing out of the room, I speed dial the emergency services. Yeah, it's not like anyone else could have done this. You know? In a hurried pace, I explain what happened to the operator, and she insisted for medical assistance immediately. Thanking them, I hang up and hurry back to the room. As I run back to Monika, I notice a crimson stain on the sink counter while Yuri hovers over it, clutching the edge of the counter. my suspicions are wrong, I dash to the sink counter. Sure enough, there's blood on the counter and inside of the sink. No fucking way. Oh, so much is happening. I almost want to vomit at the sight as my stomach heaves and my heartbeat thrashes against my ears. I swallow, trying my hardest not to throw up right now. You gotta be strong, man. Jerking myself away from the contact of the sink. Fold back over to Monika and squeeze her icy hand again. Listen, you're gonna be okay, Monika. The paramedics are coming. You're gonna be okay. Promise. I continue repeating that last phrase, hoping my mantra doesn't fall on deaf ears. The next few minutes pass by in a blur. Just try to keep her awake, man. My memories are fuzzy, so I can't remember exactly what happened. I do recall Natsuki leaving the bathroom sometime after I called the paramedics. Eventually, Natsuki returns, a school nurse by her side. She promptly instructs us to leave the area, stating that the paramedics are on their way. We comply as I lift myself from the floor. Exiting the room, everything feels surreal. Yeah, this just happened, man. Holy shit. Behind me, I can hear Sayori softly sobbing to herself still. This is why we should have been concerned for her, people. I turn around and walk over to her, wrapping an arm around her shoulder. Ahead of me, Yuri and Natsuki seem rattled. As they rightfully should be after this. Jesus Christ. Meanwhile, I'm trying to decipher what the hell just happened. Yeah, I'd like to find out why she was passed out on the floor there. Because, yeah, this is just very sudden. Yet, somehow, I'm still keeping on a calm face, despite nearly closing in on a panic attack. I want to say something, anything to break the tension between us, but I can't find the right words to say. In fact, I don't think I even should say anything in this situation. Besides, what would I even say? Eventually, we leave the school under a heavy silence. We wave each other goodbye, and I begin the walk home. The minutes turn to hours as I sit on the edge of my bed. I've been trying to tune out the events of today by browsing through various animes and even watching a few. To no avail, I find myself constantly replaying the events of today in my mind. Yeah, these events are gonna stick with you for a while, man. This isn't the kind of day you just, live through and, forget about. Like, oh man. Why did this happen? How did this happen? So many questions, none of them I have answers to. A minor ache develops in my head. I look out from my window and into the neighborhood, a starry night blanketing it. Guess it's still early night then. Slowly, I start to feel my body shut down as I fall onto the bed, turning off the lights in the process. I can't sleep. My mind is still racing a mile a minute. Yeah, that's to be expected after a day like today. Her headache from yesterday, our 3 years at the park, her unexplained absence on Friday, the passing out of today. I want to believe this is all just some sick coincidence. The more I think, the more I slowly start to realize one thing. None of this is just some sort of coincidence or a twist of fate. Yes, there's an integral link between all of these events. Monika's actually sick, severely, but maybe she passed out for unrelated reasons? No, dude, don't assume that. It's possible. Yeah, but like I said, don't assume that. But how? That's the question I want answers to. How did this happen? This is getting me nowhere. You got to pry her for this. I know she doesn't want to bring this up because she doesn't want people to worry about her, but god damn it, this needs to be brought up. Not to mention that my headache from earlier is slowly starting to develop into a problem. I should try to get some sleep, even if I can't. Maybe get some aspirin first? I force my eyelids shut. I shouldn't worry about Monika right now. Hopefully she'll tell us what's going on in due time. Hopefully. That's it for the demo. Thanks for playing. Alright then. So that's it. The 1.0 demo of Doki Doki Everlasting. I hope you guys liked that, because I had a lot of fun playing through this. And like somebody in the server said, it definitely leaves off on a nerve-wracking note. I'm gonna be thinking about this until the next demo or the full release comes out, whichever comes first. So yeah, until there's more to show, until next time, peace.